What's up, everybody? Welcome into Funsie, a disc golf podcast. Today's guest has been scheduled to come on the pod for a little bit now, and since being scheduled, has made some what we'll call divisive videos. We're joined by KCay Music and Disc Golf, who I think I'm just going to call Kyle at this point. Is it KCay? That was me learning your government name in the post that we made?
Let me be the first to say I've never put my government name online, so that was crazy. But
How'd you know, Grant?
Okay. Okay, I was wondering about that. You're gonna love this. So I could not find it for the life of me. And the only reason I did it is because our graphics had just had that layout. They had the name and then like the Instagram or YouTube underneath. And I was like, I just want to keep it consistent. So then I started looking for your name. Couldn't find it. I should have just messaged you. I don't know why I didn't. So I typed into ChatGPT, what is
No
KCay
way.
Music and Disc Golf's name,
wow,
and it told me.
That's
all right,
terrifying.
that is kind of terrifying. That
So I'm sorry if
You
exposed
exposed
you.
him. You doxed
at
him.
such a vulnerable time where a lot of people are hacking me too.
That's so funny.
I think we should modify our graphics to also have home address as well
Social
as
security
Yeah.
number.
Home value,
People
Garrett
can all
Home
Price
value.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll manage to get into it, but I think first we want to get to know you, KCay, like the creator and who's been around for a while. So I mean, pretty basic way to start, but where does disc golf start for you, and even like content creation?
I mean, my brother showed me disc golf when I was in high school, and to me, like at that time, it was no different than the way I would play cornhole randomly. Like it was something you just did. It was fun, but like never took it serious. And then in college, I played ultimate frisbee, and like the team would always just randomly play disc golf rounds. And then it wasn't really till COVID hit that everyone just had so much free time, and I was already making, or I kind of really started diving into content mostly through TikTok, not even disc golf related. And eventually, I was tired of not having a niche and just chasing viral videos on TikTok for like no reason other than it was fun to have viral videos, and switched into the niche of disc golf where I still didn't really play too much. I didn't really know anything about it. And as my videos kind of were going viral for disc golf, I go, okay, maybe I should start getting more into this. Maybe I should like play more, learn about the pros, learn about terminology, because it was to a point where clearly I didn't know what I was talking about in like any aspect of it. And people were calling me out on it and bullying me. So the bullying helped me get into disc golf.
I feel like
Um,
that's what happened with James Makes Music, the guy that was at the
Hmm.
Creator Challenge last year, because he didn't know very much about disc golf at all, and I feel like people kind of bullied him for that, and then it seemed like he learned a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bullying can be a strong motivator to learn.
I'm interested to hear like what you think about that whole situation, being someone who is like, I don't know, like I felt like personally you had a very similar following, but made more disc golf content than he did. That was so out of left field for me for James Makes Music to be there.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but him and I are like mutuals, and like we both I think got kind of big on TikTok around the same time. And yeah, no, I've seen him do a bunch, or not a bunch, but a few disc golf videos in there. So it wasn't like crazy, and in my opinion, it just felt like they were trying to get like weirder, bigger audiences outside of like the very narrow niche. But
mm,
so I wasn't like, I don't know. I was a little bummed, or definitely bummed that I wasn't a part of it. But like, I totally get why James Makes Music was there. But it does, yeah. From like if you're a heavy disc golfer, it feels a little confusing.
I thought it was like a Andrew Manganelli thing where they were just like taking somebody from like completely outside of the sport that likes the sport and brought them in. I didn't know he did any disc golf content.
Yeah, very few and far between, but they're in there.
So how did music content like come about for you? Because you do a lot of like rap stuff and whatnot, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've always like written lyrics and loved making music. Kind of started getting into it after I graduated from college and kind of could afford the stuff to actually make music, which I couldn't before then. And then from there, like I was making a bunch of obviously content and I'm like, okay, why am I not doing music in my disc golf content as well? Because it's easy enough to intertwine, and then hopefully people are just curious enough to check out my actual music and not just my comedy music for disc golf. So always have loved making music, and just have really only did the music stuff just to hopefully get people to check out my non-disc golf music.
I love it. The KCay, I'm curious. I'm pretty sure you do content creation outside as well for like your day job. I could be
Yeah,
mistaken in saying that.
that's
Did you get
correct.
that? Did you get that kind of from what you did online and like disc golf content creation, or did you have that previously and then kind of like carry it over into doing disc golf stuff?
No, I mean, like I graduated college with a business management and healthcare management major, and went right into that industry as a revenue analyst for 8 years. And then just on
Hmm.
the side, yeah, I've done all my content, and eventually was like, I should really utilize my content for the work I do, and just kind of use that as my resume when I applied, and got a job as the guy doing all the content for a workwear company now. So it's a 1620 workwear, and it's kind of a lot of things because internally we're a pretty small company, but it's, yeah, creating all their video ads, or at least trying to work with creators to create UGC type ads,
Hmm.
and then running their socials. Yeah, it's like the overarching high level stuff that I do.
That's awesome. Is that kind of scratching the itch for you, or is there a desire because you are making disc golf content? Is there a desire to kind of somehow carry that over into disc golf as well? Like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's something where like I don't think enough about like what I actually want. I just know I want opportunities. But
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like doing this on the side led me to a job where I get to do what I love, which is so
Which,
cool. And like I think
yeah.
obviously in the community of disc golf, it would be awesome to do what I do for disc golf instead. But there's also like the money side of things where disc golf just doesn't have like the same amount of money as like a regular company. So it'd be like pretty unrealistic unless I really wanted to grind and like put my wife and I in more financial strain than we
Yeah.
need to be. So like I'm in a very good spot. Like I don't know how you all like are just grinding so hard to love the sport. Like I don't have that dog in me.
No, no, that's not the intent in saying that, but I was
No,
just
no,
trying to get a feel for. It seems like there's not necessarily like a set goal in mind, but it's just like send it and hope that something kind of happens along the way without necessarily like an expectation for it.
that's like the, yeah, exact perfect way to describe it.
Feel that 100%. Also, do you have like a routine for content at all, or is it basically just like I just have an idea and I'm gonna go do it?
That's, yeah, it's all just I have an idea. Let me try and film it as quick as I can. And then more in the last year, I've just been like improving. Like I'll just say, "Hey, film this shot," and whatever happens, I'll riff something, and hopefully it's funny. And so I've been kind of in a transition internally to get people to actually connect with me, because without
Mm.
long form content, it's hard to do that.
But you've been
Yeah.
doing some long form stuff, right?
Not well, but I should try. I just like don't have the time to grind out a long form video as much. But yeah, that was my goal this year, was to at least just get comfortable doing more long form. But I still just don't have like the time to commit to it.
Completely hear you. I was curious, doing short form content without long form, do you feel like people are necessarily biased against you and like that sort of format? Because at least I know, I won't say who it was, but I was out to dinner with some people and they were talking about content related stuff, YouTube, whatever. And one of the people essentially said that like, yeah, shorts is nothing. Essentially, I mean, I'm just kind of summarizing, but just being like, yeah, that's worthless, and YouTube is really where it's at. And I was just like, cool, all right. Because at the time I was just making Instagram, so I guess I'm just curious about where you stand with that sort of thing, because you are trying to get into YouTube. But yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know. It could be wrong, but I feel like I miss out on opportunities and like connections sometimes because like that's like a big missing piece of content. And like, yeah, short form is such a flash in the pan of, hey, here's this 9-second video that had 8 million views, but like,
Hmm.
what does that mean? Nothing. People share it. It's funny. They move on. Where like a long form video to get 50,000 is to me so much more valuable and like impressive.
I feel like my personal opinion has changed a little bit over time because I used to be very like what Sacco just said, where it was like shorts is awesome, but it's also nothing when it comes to community building. I think it's possible to build a community, but I think you have to go about it the way you're kind of trying to go about it, where it's like, yeah, I still have these 9 million view videos where like you plug and chug anyone in that video and it does well. But then outside of that, you also show your personality a little bit more. So maybe if someone does see that viral video, goes and clicks on your account, looks at one of your recent posts and is like, oh, this is who this person is. And then I also think that like if you want to get into the nitty gritty, someone clicks on one YouTube video, say it has 200 views, but it's a 20-minute video. Those 200 views on a 20-minute video, watch time wise, is going to add up comparably to 100,000 views, 200,000 views on a 9-second video. And I think the value is intrinsically the same because of how much time people are spending watching that video, you know? And so, like, I think it's possible to foster a community with short form. I think it's just going to take so many more videos, so much more time to like build a depth of community. Like I used to think that it was going to be really hard for me to have some kind of like super tangible audience because of how little I posted. Like I thought that Broderick and Bodanza did a really good job of having depth of audience, but at a certain point I was like, oh, like I bet it's because people have just spent so much time with them watching their videos, feeling like they're connecting to Broderick and Bodanza. And I was like, I make good videos and I get good views, but like, I don't really see a depth of audience. And I think it's that same principle. Like, you know, now that you've been in the space, when did you get into the space?
Um, I mean, like early was like 2022. Probably started. I feel like
Yeah.
having a real following like late 2023 though.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think earlier than even kind of started doing my stuff. And so, you know, like, I feel like I'm sure you had a lot of people come up to you at like the expos and stuff and be like, oh, I've seen your stuff. I like your stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it's just easier to get a depth of audience when you do YouTube. Uh, but, you know.
100%. I'm curious, Josh, with your content. I feel like you do a good job at creating stuff specifically for shorts and obviously specifically for YouTube. How often are you just taking snippets from your YouTube for your shorts versus net new for short content?
I used to be very anti, like, here's me throwing a disc, uh, kind of content. And I still don't really do it that often unless someone is like, hey, we need you to promote this. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's part of my job description now. And I need
Right.
to do it.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but also on top of that, like, uh, I think that you know, as humbly as I can say this, I've gotten to a point in the sport where I provide value to people by just throwing a disc because they're like, oh, like I trust Jay Millie, you know, like I know who Jay Millie is and I like his opinion, so I want to know what he thinks about this disc. But that doesn't answer your question. Not super duper often do I just clip out of my YouTube video. It's kind of just like, oh my gosh, this super crazy thing happened in my YouTube video. I'm going to turn this into a short.
Mhm.
Um, I know that Bodanza, I think he like kind of is like, I'm getting 5 shorts from every YouTube video I ever post, and then he just posts them on everything. I think that's kind of his mindset. I kind of just like if something interesting happens, I clip it and I post it. I didn't used to do that, but I think that there's a lot of value to that for multiple reasons. I think that being in front of people's eyes is very important. Like I used to think like, oh, just only post when it's like super high quality. And I still think there should be a standard that's upheld. I think in today's society specifically, it's really easy for people to just like forget about you almost. Like if you're not putting yourself in front of people's eyes, whatever's in front of their eyes is what is going to be consuming, or like what their brain is going to be thinking about. And so like part of my mindset with at least short form now is like I try to post daily ish, you know, like 5 to 6 7 times a week. My brain is so cooked. Can't even say it.
It's early.
Welcome to 7:30 a.m., 6:30 a.m. for you, brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my mindset with that. I do a lot of clipping, or some clipping now, and then I also just like, oh, I think this would perform very well as a short, or this is just something that interests me, so I'm gonna make a short about it. So
kind of the reason that you came on this podcast is making the post about feeling like you're not really, I don't remember verbatim, but something to the effect of like, actually I think I wrote it down here, struggling to feel relevant in the disc golf space and feel like you're overlooked for creator opportunities. Being someone that makes funny content, I think it can be easy for someone to watch that content and be like, that dude's funny, and that's it. Not really be able to like move past the surface of what they're seeing. I'm curious if you feel like making the funny content or making the shorts, if it kind of maybe feels like it holds you back a little bit because people aren't able to see just your personality. They only see the funny thing and then share the funny thing, and maybe it gets views.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes to the point I was saying where like I was so focused on just having the funniest concept that it didn't matter who was in the video. Like it could have been any of you, and the concept is what's funny, not necessarily like
Okay.
me showing my personality. So I've purposely been trying to just like do more stuff where it's like the comedy is coming from me, and like it's more, I don't know, it's more like direct. I'm talking to the camera rather than just a funny concept. Just to get that connection more. And then on top of that, I've had this conversation too. Is like I'm actively like just hoping for fun opportunities to come, but I also kind of pigeonhole myself by one, having crazy content. Two, I'm so average at disc golf that like brands aren't like, let's work with this really average disc golfer. Let's get him some stuff so he could throw it really average. Like, and then three, like, yeah, there's not really much of a connection to my audience, so it's hard for me to like, not that I want to be selling stuff, because that's a luxury I do have, that I'm just like doing my own thing for fun, so I don't need to be like pushing stuff. But it is always nice to have paid opportunities arise from brands who align with what I want to do. So
even just aside from brands, the post that I was kind of referencing about you expressing your feelings about how you feel, is it easy to assume that those are regarding not being able to come on to the Creator Cup, or were there other things tied into that?
I mean, it's like Creator Cup, Creator Challenge, like Imposter Disc Golf. And I totally understand like where all these brands and media companies are coming from in terms of, I do make crazy stuff online, and like I just felt like there is an opportunity to be like, oh, he's doing a caricature of himself online. He's a very normal, like down to earth guy, but I also understand that I have put wild things online, and like that lives there, and that's how people perceive me, and brands don't want to be associated with that, and that's totally understandable. But like when I made a song with Ben was like, hey, no swearing, like nothing crazy, and I'm like, of course, like I don't want to like tarnish anything that you're doing. Like I want to meet what you're doing, and I thought there was like an opportunity for that kind of conversation to happen. Where
Right. Yeah, our video. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all I had to say.
I was
Go
gonna
for
say, yeah, our song's still one of the most fire songs in the
Worst
no,
doubles
just kidding.
partners.
Obviously very biased, but yeah, that was super fun. But yeah, I was just like, like no swearing, because even when I made music, I told my feature artist not to swear, just because family friendly. No, I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know really, but I do have a question.
Tangent real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before your question, Ben, that was the worst content creation experience I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
It took so long to
Oh
film
yeah.
that. We tried to do it at Maple Hill on like a busy
Worst
day,
decision
and it was like
ever.
letting groups pass. Like
Worst
we let
decision
like
ever.
10 groups pass because we're just trying to film a music video on Maple Hill, and it took like 3 hours. We barely played disc golf that day, and that was my nightmare.
That was.
I was supposed
the
to be
song
there
was
that
great.
day.
Yes.
What was
That's
that?
true.
I
I
was
forgot about
supposed
that.
to be there.
that day. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
and my wife's tire blew out on like
Right.
I think they were in, anyways, Cape Cod or something, and I'm like, cool, let me drive up to Cape Cod
yeah.
today and go deal with that, but missed
forgot about that.
opportunity.
Yeah. No. That was. Yeah. Lesson learned. If you want to record a video where you have to like stop at T-Bads, don't go to the most. But that's what you're saying. He's like, yeah, that's why I go to. But I just wanted to play Maple Hill with KCay. So it was
a fun experience. But in the moment, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, we're gonna be here for
it
4
was
more
kind of
hours.
like, you know, when you're like doing a weird lip sync video and then like there are people just waiting for you. You're like, you can play through. It's just like it's like the most awkward thing ever.
That's also, I don't know how you guys feel, but that's also my nightmare. I hate filming content in front of people. I've not gotten to the stage where I'm comfortable with that yet. I only go to like the least busy disc golf courses on purpose because I hate doing this in front of people.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
yeah.
it makes anyone feel better out there, I feel like the biggest dweebus on earth if I'm doing the like whole YouTube, Instagram thing in front of random people that are just like, "Can I chuck a shot, please?"
Stop throwing so many. Let me play through. No,
No, we always
Just-
let people play through.
no, I know.
Just thinking about that, like a person walking up and trying to play through while I'm filming something, like holds me back from going out to the course to film something.
Yeah, G-Star. We need G-Star YouTube videos. That's your other intern responsibility now. Mandatory.
Me
Wait.
posting more.
Yeah.
How is my mic? Is my mic good now?
Yes.
trying.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it sounds better.
I don't know when the pivot was for me because I definitely used to feel like that, but now I'll literally just like I don't give two.
Because you have
rips.
100K subscribers. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the
I
pivot.
hit like
That's literally the
a
pivot.
threshold where you're on top of the world. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, maybe.
You can
Maybe
tell
it
people
is.
like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I'm famous.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
don't
He doesn't
know
have
me?
to tell them. They know who he is.
Well, hit him with the "you don't know who I am." I think that's it.
Yeah.
I did not hit anyone with that.
so,
I guess
oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
to a degree, there is a level of like affirmation behind like filming and like feeling quote unquote legit. Like when I used to film my tournaments before like anyone knew who I was, people were like, "Oh, what are you filming for?" And I'm like, "Oh, a YouTube video." And they're like, "Oh, okay, you know, like whatever." And now it's like most of the time when I play with people, they're like, "Oh, can you like shout me out in the video or you know like whatever?" And so like it's definitely that probably is what it is. So
How often
As-
do y'all hear if there's a camera that's up that someone's like, "Oh, you're not gonna like this shot," or it's like, "Oh, I'm
my
gonna play in front of a
gosh.
camera."
oh my gosh,
And
I
it's
always
all-
say like if someone plays through, my typical line is,
I'm not
"Oh, show me the
recording, yeah.
line," you know, like I'll try to follow your line or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want to film this one," you know,
And you're like, I'm not.
It should be studied, self-deprecation in the relationship with playing casual disc golf, because I feel like it's really, really high to do that. I think there's something interesting there.
yeah.
I
You
think
have
we're
to
all
say
just like,
something
we don't
like
want to
that when you play
overhype
through.
what's about to happen, so we just go with the opposite effect of like, I'm gonna say the worst and hope something better happens. But I feel like it's
Yeah,
a
that makes
self-conscious thing.
I got a question. The hard-hitting questions are coming in. No, I'm just kidding. It's a little hard-hitting. Not so. Feel free to answer however. But obviously with the whole Career Cup and imposter not getting in, and you feeling like not a part of that stuff, do you think kind of like the videos you just made kind of helped you kind of get invited? Not for foundation wise. Obviously that ship has sailed. Let's say another thing. Do you think those videos helped or kind of hurt for the future of you getting invited to that type of stuff? And like maybe the only other thing I can think about is the Des Moines Creator Challenge. There's nothing I can think of, but I'm just saying like what I'm sure you weighed those options as, you know, I'm just trying to tell me about kind of like what you were thinking and as you were posting.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit out of like, for sure, out of spite. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, if they're never gonna work with me, I'm just doubling down on like,
Yeah,
without
for
like
sure.
trying to, like, I wasn't trying to directly attack them in any way, but definitely like poke fun at the situation. And yeah, I just wanted to double down. I was like, all right, I'm over it. The ship has sailed. I'm doing my own thing. But there definitely have been like, in light of this, I feel like so many people. There shouldn't be sides taken. There's no sides to take, but so many people and like even brands were like, yeah, like we love what you're doing. Like, let us like send you stuff. Like, obviously, you guys reached out before this whole thing, and I'm glad that you still are happy to have me on after it. But like other little things like this, just being able to talk and tell my story a little more has come from this. So that's been nice. And yeah,
I was just gonna say, I feel like it really shows the parallels of like, at least my opinion of disc golf is there's Christians, and then there's there's people that drink and smoke and do crazy stuff sometimes, and I think that those have been where the lines have been drawn in this specific beef, quote unquote beef. I know you probably have love in your heart for Foundation, and I know
Right.
they have love in their heart
the
for
comment
you.
section was very
Yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
I think that's probably where the lines have been drawn. And not that you care about my opinion. I'm sure you probably thought about this too. But like I kind of thought the same thing that you thought whenever you kind of made it public about Foundation not wanting to work with you. I was like, well, they could just like explain who he is and, give like a preface of like, I mean, they're a family channel, maybe they're not going to support it or whatever. But seeing kind of what's been going on with the Creator Cup and being one of the people that's been hated on through the Creator Cup has made me realize how little people just like actually pay attention to videos. And like, it's kind of like, I don't know, I think people maybe just put on YouTube videos and then like just ping in from time to time because context is given to these YouTube videos, but people do not pay attention to that context. And so like, I think that's probably part of the issue with Foundation thinking about that, where they're like, we'll give this context to KCay, but people are not going to pay attention to it. And then all they're going to remember is that they saw him, doing some crazy stuff on the internet before this YouTube video, and then, associate that with Foundation. So that is at least what I think about. But I don't know. Is that something you had thought about, or?
Yeah, like I genuinely, I totally get why they couldn't work with me. I was like definitely naive to be like, I made a sick song to apply for them. They gotta accept me. Like,
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense, and like they have the right to do it. And I am sad. I'm not mad. Like that's the easiest way to say it. Like I want
yeah, that
those
makes sense.
opportunities, but
Yeah.
I get that I've put myself in the position where they have the right to say you throwing a blurred out item on screen is not something we want to work with.
Well, here's my pitch to Foundation, and this would be the most mind-boggling and the best thing, one of the best things to happen in disc golf creator in the year. Do the imposter. Don't have KCay there, or at least until all of a sudden KCay comes out as like a sabotage or something. Like that would just break the internet, where you're not obviously a part of the series, but like maybe the last episode you just come out as like a celebrity shot. Like you have one celebrity shot and you're, I think that would be just like the coolest thing ever. Just like burying the hatchet, squashing the beat, and you just appearing, and it would literally break the disc golf internet. So that's my pitch.
KCay's just gonna figure out where and when it's being filmed.
He's gonna do it anyway.
Going to be playing a casual round.
He's just gonna be playing a casual round there, and he's like, "Yo, you guys mind if I tag along?
Yeah.
You guys mind if I play through?"
That's so funny. Whoa, you just called him KC.
Yeah, you did call him KC.
KCay, here's what I'll say. for the
Or
longest
CK,
time,
CK. You said sorry, CK.
I did not put two and two together that your name was KK. In my head, you were always CK or KC.
You said
or
CK.
something
Yeah,
like
that's my
that.
bad. CK.
Yeah, because like I don't know the way your name, your handle is.
It's
Like
long.
I get that
It's terrible.
yeah, it's kind of long. I think I've told people this before, so I have no qualms telling you this as well. I know you make music, and I think that's one of your biggest appeals. I think you should still just be like, I mean, honestly, you should be like KK Disc Golf, which I guess
Right.
there's like, isn't there a girl account called like KK Approved or
There's
something
KK
like that?
There
approved.
is.
Yeah. Shout out KK.
Yeah.
The
But-
next
Shout out.
collab coming.
Well,
But-
I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
doesn't
the-
matter. You've obviously made it this far without any input from me, so just ignore
Yeah.
me.
It's like everyone at the Disc Golf Expo is like, KC, CK, K. Like, I don't
Really?
think anyone says my name correctly. So.
That's so funny.
But now everyone knows my government name, Kyle Care. Find me on LinkedIn.
That's I think where I confirmed it. I
Yeah.
saw the LinkedIn. I was
Yeah.
like, there he is.
I secretly knew your full name, but like
Right,
I didn't
yeah.
know if you like wanted the world to know. So that's why when I saw Graham
I'm
posted,
in
I
a
was like, oh,
place where, like, luckily it's fine, but it was more when I was in my revenue analyst days. I did not want my work
yeah,
to, like,
and that's
line
when
my
when
socials.
we recorded. That's why I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, I know we talked a little bit about you working as a social media manager for 1620 Workwear.
Mhm.
I actually looked it up while we were doing it, and I think this is why I maybe don't know the answer to this. But did they reach out to you because of your content, or did you just use your content as like, hey, here's why I'm qualified to do this?
Yeah, exactly that. Just applied with my resume and then immediately messaged them, be like, hey, that has nothing to do with what what my talents are that apply to this job. And then I just sent all my socials over on LinkedIn, and they're like,
okay,
yeah. So,
that's really cool.
yeah, it worked out really well. And then my CEO and boss is super supportive of just me doing stupid stuff online, so I don't have to like hide it as much as I used to.
Oh, that's huge. That's
so
Felt
huge.
like
cool.
Hannah Montana in my previous job, where I'm just living the
Yeah.
life.
So now that you're creating content full time, and more so it's work, does it feel like more of a drag now that you actually have to treat it as work, or is it still kind of enjoyable? Because I feel like everyone's dream is to create content full time, like for a company or obviously themselves. But I feel like once it turns into that, there's
I would say
yeah.
there's parts that feel like, okay, this is a job. I have to make a video for a pair of pants where I'm highlighting each pocket. Like,
Let's go.
that's where you're like, okay, this is a job. But like my boss also, like, he knows I'm a very creative person and like a comedy driven person. So he does allow me to do the KK version of a 1620 ad, which that's like a lot of fun that I have that free reign to kind of put my unique creativity and like wild stuff out there through the lens of a workwear company.
That's fun. I think it's important because there's obviously a lot of clothing brands out there. So anything that you can do to actually separate yourself and show some personality is primo. I don't follow it, but I for sure am going to follow it after this. I've just seen when you've shared it occasionally to your story, and I'm like, dude, check this out. This is my man right here, just like going through doing this. Well, I have kind of a deep question at this point, but I don't know if it's ready for this point in the podcast. So here, this is one that'll do before. Do you have desires to work with any other like content creators in the space? You said that some people have been like reaching out to you and being supportive. Like, who else is out there that you would love to do some stuff with?
I mean, there's tons of creators that I want to do stuff with. Like, there's tons of creators that reached out saying like, we need to do our own Creators Cup, like, which I would love to kind of put more of a like R-rated Creators Cup together that does get like the degenerate creators out there. But again, I don't have like the time to actually like pull something off like that. Even for Imposter Disc Golf, I had to like
Sponsored by 1620 Workwear. We have
even for like applying to Imposter Disc Golf, I had to request a week off just in case I got it, and now I had to take that off my calendar. So like, it's it's just like more of like I don't have the bandwidth to pull something like that off, but there's a lot of people who want to help try and do that, and I'm all for trying to do it, but I want to do it with like a creative idea, like not to bash foundation, but I think, and not to bash what you guys were like, Grant and Josh was just on, but I feel like putting creators just playing around is like such a waste of creators. Like it feels like it should be something so different than what it was. I loved watching my favorite creators do that, but at the end of the day, I want to watch my favorite creators like do more fun challenges and stuff like that, rather than we're just trying to play good disc golf. It's like I watch the Pro Tour for good disc golf. I want to watch creators like do something different.
You don't think we played good disc golf?
That's so funny.
I think you played good disc golf, but I just feel like it was a waste of your
Grant did not play
talent.
good disc golf. What are you talking about? You didn't watch the video.
No, you can tell by Josh's clip where he has his head in his hand.
Bro, literally, they cut that. Bro, that was so annoying. Because right after that, I genuinely remember doing that and turning around and being like, Grant, like, it's totally fine. Like, you know, it's all right. Like, not a big deal. We'll still do fine. But they literally just cut it. So I look like I'm such a generational hater.
That's so
on you,
funny.
Whatever.
Was that like a pretty tough thing to deal with? Like you thinking maybe something was going to make a final cut and it just didn't?
Well, the biggest tough thing for the entire situation is it was like, hey, please Raz, please trash talk, please go absolutely nuts on each other. And Broderick and I were going nuts. And the comment sections are like, why are they going nuts? Because Foundation didn't say it in the video at any point that they're trash
Is it never
talking
said?
and razzing. No, not at all.
There's no because I thought you were talking about context earlier, that there was context.
I was.
I thought
I
that's
think
what
that
you were.
I think that I was kind of just talking about the format. I do think that it could have been like explained better what the format was. But yeah, I don't think they gave any context about how like trash talking was encouraged and like it's a Raz round and we're messing around or whatever. But no, like I wasn't worried about it when we filmed it. I remember thinking like maybe there was a few times I said something and it was like too far. But now I never want to trash talk in my entire life ever again because everyone hates me and I hate disc golf and I never want to do anything ever.
Yeah, it's funny because I think obviously the Creators Cup was just parallel to golf. Like, you know, they had the Barstool Creator Invitational where they all play. But actually recently, this just reminded me, there's a announcement about the Your Golf Tour, and it's all like the top creators, and you're going to get invited to something here soon just because you made it vocal. I think that's why when I asked if you think it helped or hurt, I was seeing, I don't think you really answered it, but I think some people who do support you are going to be like, okay, we got to get this guy out. So obviously I think it hurt the foundation, obviously, but something different, I think it probably helped.
Yeah. And more backstory, which I haven't talked about this either, is like the creator challenge. I got reached out to last year and they're like, we want you to do it. And I'm like, that's incredible. Absolutely. And then like a month goes by, no conversation back to me. Like I follow up because I'm like, this is huge. This is the biggest opportunity I've ever gotten. And they're like, oh yeah, we decided to go with someone else. And I'm like,
and it was James.
That's what I mean. It might have been, but it felt like, I don't know. That was where like it really hurt, and I'm like, that sucks. And then yeah, you just keep pushing along, and then you get hit with more roadblocks like this. But I just try to, I don't know. I think this was like somewhat the final straw of me just doubling down and being more vocal about it. But I am so open. Like I'm still open to work with Foundation. I like, I haven't written them off.
It'd be sick if that happened.
They've probably written me off because of my content, but I like they're still the biggest media company, or like one of the biggest media companies, and I have like no hard feelings. I'm ready to beg on my knees whenever.
It sounds like you kind of already said that, but assuming, let's say hypothetically, Foundation or one of those guys is listening to this, do you have anything that you would like to say to them, or just like put out in the open that maybe they wouldn't know?
Not really. Like, I don't know. It's but say they are here. Hey guys, I'm sorry. let me on, please, pretty please. I want to be a part of your little crew and have fun with you guys. That'd be a lot of fun. And that's what I'll say then.
This is getting clipped.
Yeah, KK, we do short clips now, so that's definitely going on Instagram, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you guys another clip just out of context. I will never work with those guys. They are the worst thing that has ever happened to disc golf, and their morals and values, not for me. We're talking about Chick-fil-A, obviously.
There was a lot of talk about and you guys kind of already talked about this, but people are being able to say hey, KK, you come on, but just keep it friendly, family friendly, and separate the artist from the art or whatnot. But I think with a lot of these opportunities, and y'all can all tell me where I'm wrong, is I think their opinion is we want to have people on, especially the Creators Cup. It's we're trying to get creators together where we can shout them out and be these are the creators, you can find them here. And so it's hard to do that for them when it's hey, this is what we represent, and it's go check out KK, and then
that was
you have
an
kids
exact,
watching their channel.
That was an exact quote in the email that they sent, was we have to be very protective of who we push our audience to. And I'm yeah, I get it.
Because I feel they probably have a lot of younger kids maybe watching their content. I know Jay Millie does for sure. Would you be comfortable with them being pushed to your content?
Yeah, I don't mind, but it's every 70th video is or no, I guess I swear quite a bit in videos, so more frequently. But I don't know, I feel it's kind of on the parents to be not letting kids watch that. But I get that everyone has a phone and it's impossible to actually monitor that and stop people from being on the internet and just seeing things that get on their feed automatically. You have no control, especially short form. So
right,
yeah, it's a position that they're probably, granted, you guys actually, some of you probably know the detail behind the scenes of their decision making, but I'm sure they're at the same time it kind of stinks that we can't have this creator, but we can't have this creator. So I assume they were, or I don't know, I don't want to assume anything. I assume they thought about it, discussed it, and they said, yeah, we unfortunately can't do that.
No, I think they 100% discussed it. Obviously, you have a huge
For
platform, but yeah, like you said, you understand it. I understand why. It's kind of the same reason why I didn't want swearing. It's just I just in our video, so I can understand it. You obviously have said you understand why it happens, but you're just bummed out that and it is kind of a bummer that that's pretty much the only avenue that a creator something like that will happen, because they have the production, whereas Nathan, maybe another round, or Jomez can do it, but so far they're the only ones doing it. So I can see how that you understand where they're coming from, obviously, but the fact that they're pretty much the only one doing it is a bummer, because that means you'll be left out more.
Right. And I think a lot of the people in brands, and maybe not even brands, but a lot of the people that fall under the same more adult humor, they just, yeah, they really don't have big media companies, big followings.
Yeah.
So if we were to try to put together something, we automatically don't even have a reach that Foundation has.
Or
it'd either be
editors
propped up,
or camera guys.
right. It'd be propped up on my short form following, unless we brought on a bigger media company, which just, it would kind of be a failure from the start without getting the backing of someone who has a big established long form content viewing.
Unfortunately, we are in a niche that's in a niche, and then that's even more in a niche. Because you would be the R-rated niche inside of the disc golf niche inside of the and so,
which I would argue that there's a bigger audience there than there is a family friendly niche, but you just get younger audiences. I think for adults, I think the majority of them prefer the drinking, the cursing, but the family friendly
here's my
opens up
opinion.
everything.
Yeah. My opinion is like I think I agree with you. Like I think there's probably a ton of disc golfers who would love, more R-rated stuff. Like I think some of Broderick's early days were propelled by disc golfers wanting the R-rated disc golf content. But I think um the issue with that is like some of those people who love the R-rated stuff probably have kids, and so they're gonna watch Foundation over watching something that's cursing and
100%. Yeah.
alcohol involved and some stuff that is not as good, or I don't know, I don't want to say not as good, but that is R-rated, and so I think that is where the issue lies. And then, like I said, I think that's a niche in a niche in a niche. If disc golf or not if, sorry, when disc golf blows up and becomes super big, I think you'll find more success, doing something like that, because I think it will be a very, like, I think that's kind of like Barstool's kind of like,
Yeah,
yo, we're pretty
You're
R-rated
disc golf Barstool. That's so wow. What a good analogy.
Yeah.
You're literally Barstool
and
disc
so
golf.
like,
Dude, you should reach out.
honestly,
That'd be
Honestly,
insane. A creator,
yeah.
if the Barstool did a disc golf, they wouldn't. But
I do feel
that'd
like
be
if I
insane.
leverage this quote unquote beef to my advantage, yeah, that's my best angle at trying to
Well-
reach out. But no, I don't think anything happens from
I also
that.
think that something you could do as well is start a disc golf Barstool where the hood rat, like R-rated stuff lives. And I think that could really start, like, maybe you run it or you get someone else to run it or you have help with that. And then that, I could easily see that getting big enough to like fund something, especially if you get affiliated with Barstool and you're like, hey, disc
Right.
golf sport, we have so much stuff happening that's crazy. Let me have a affiliated Barstool account where I post the stuff that's, crazy. I don't know. I could see that being very successful. And especially like if you could get them to actually affiliate it and then it starts seeing success, maybe Barstool actually puts an imprint in disc golf, which I think would be great, especially if they use someone from disc golf in their content, And then especially if you're the affiliate, obviously they use you. And then boom, KCay is one of the biggest names in disc golf and outside of disc golf. Boom, easy.
That would be the
plan.
dream. I think everything comes down to I'm lucky if I play one round a week right now, unfortunately. So like that's also why I only do short form, is like I don't play a lot. I get like 10 ideas throughout the week and I'll try to execute all those short form ideas in one round real quick. So it's also like just time and not laziness, but like I have to be lazy for how little time I have.
Well, you're
So-
creating. That's what I'm saying. You're creating content for your job, and it's like, oh, now for the thing that's fun to me, I have to do my job again.
Yeah, I mean, to me they're two different things. It's like the difference of me playing ultimate frisbee and playing disc golf. They're both throwing discs, but they're different things at the end of the day, and I have a different mindset, even if they are very similar things. Like, yeah. So I don't like have any resentment towards my like day job. Like, it's holding me back because I love what I do and it pays me better than anything within disc golf could potentially pay me, at least locally. Like, I feel like people typically have to relocate in disc golf if they get a job within their industry.
This is totally off topic, but I think Broad or Bear Bike could like run this other R-rated creator cup or whatever, or like just turn the
Bike's
Big Bass
one that
Open.
I've talked with quite a bit in the fallout over the last couple of weeks because he's like
I wondered.
he's been, I don't want to like speak for him or anything, but he's been like obviously involved in foundation stuff, but he also feels like he's kind of on, I don't know, sometimes the like opposite side of disc golf. But he's very much to do something more like grand and a little more R-rated. But
I
know.
heard, I'd be interested to hear, KCay, from you. I heard through the grapevine that Bear Bite was invited to this Creator Cup and that he turned it down. But from the comments I've seen online, he seems to be acting like he wasn't invited. Did he tell you he was invited, or is he acting like he wasn't invited?
He didn't talk to me about the Creator Cup, but he talked to me about the new season of Imposter and said he like hadn't heard anything and I think feels like he was gonna left out. But again, I don't want to like speak for someone when like I barely have
Right.
their side
Yeah,
of the story
totally,
of anything.
totally.
So, but
I was just interested to hear because I know that Foundation has made a concerted effort on their end to make sure he feels included because he has he's been pretty vocal about like being left out of situations like that, and they they don't want.
Well,
him
and I'm pretty sure
like
wasn't
that.
he like the initial Creator Cup like guy? Like I know the Ace Bros did it, but
Not
Ace
initial.
Bros. But I'm saying I don't know. I know there's the Bear Bite Creator Challenge, but like
yeah, he did like.
I know there's
nothing came from
Conkle
it.
too. I don't really know. Like, how did they
Well,
split
okay,
up? I don't really
so-
know what happened.
Yeah, so I think this is public information, but like to my knowledge, Ace Bros was like, "Yo, let's do this thing." Conkle gets in, they're kind of running with it. Bear Bite gets in and is like, "Yo, this is the Bear Bite Invitational." They start planning, they're getting sponsors. It's kind of like, what's happening? They get Foundation involved, and pretty much at this point, Conkle plus Ace Bros, their plan for what they want it to be is just completely different than Bear Bite's plan was. Like Bear Bite, I think, wanted to have like 100 creators and like make it super duper big and go crazy. And Conkle and Ace Bros were like, we want this to be smaller and higher produced. And so at that point, they just had creative differences, and so they split ways. Conkle and Ace Bros took their Creator Cup and did it with Foundation. And then to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure Bear Bite is still working on his thing kind of separate from them. But yeah, I don't know.
Kyle, which does feel weird to say because
Maybe we
for
should have
sure,
Bear Bite on, actually. So.
Yeah, coming up soon. I don't want this to be the entire focus of the podcast. What exactly is up next for you? You've kind of referenced a couple things maybe in the pipeline, but does it kind of just go back to casual disc golf content creation, or are there like certain dreams or aspirations with what you're doing with this? Or yeah, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like I have no content calendar. I don't plan things out further than I have an idea this week. Let me film it this weekend when I can get on around. So like it's very day to day, just going with whatever happens. Like I said, I would just love to be more involved in like the creator side of like events that align with like pro tours, like specifically the creator challenge. Like that's a dream that I would have loved to be a part of that. Different than obviously the Creator Cup. But again, I probably pigeonholed myself in a way that they're like they have to think about whether they would want to let me do that. So yeah, it's really just going with the flow. I'm lucky. Like I feel like I've heard on other podcasts with you, Josh, that like if you're on a round, it's content. It's for content. Where like I play casual rounds, and if I want to film a shot, I'll hand my phone to my buddy and just say, "Hey, can you film this? Can we film this quick sketch real quick?" And that's like the extent of how my content creation is right now, which is really nice. I have that luxury where like I very much enjoy disc golf and like playing casual rounds where not a lot of creators right now have that luxury. It does probably feel more like work to them that they have to do this, and that's where like you lead to getting tired of it, being frustrated with it. Like I don't have that feeling, and I'm very lucky. So there's the good and the bad of like I don't get as many opportunities, but I also enjoy playing disc golf with my friends. So
Totally. Yeah, definitely important. Unless the boys have any other questions, it feels like a good time to wrap up. Thank you guys for checking out Funsie. Appreciate KCay coming on the podcast. Until next time, guys. Yeah, Funsie out.
thanks for having me, guys.
Funsie.